entrepreneur is an entrepreneur. So I would take this opportunity to first introduce the three guests that we have today. So we have with us Ms. Avanti Mehta. She is a water sommelier and a brand manager at Ava Natural Mineral Water. She has valuable experience in the water industry and as one of India's first and youngest certified female water sommeliers, Avanti is responsible for the taste of water which her company manufactures, which is a very big thing because their brand is all about water. And she has an experience as a fashion designer. She also has experience as an advertiser. And now, as part of her, as well as in journalism, e-commerce, she has her graduate studies from London. And she is continuing the tradition of her company, and she wants to create a brand which is sustainable and which connects with people, so when anybody thinks of water, she wants them to think about Ava. So I would ask everyone to give her a round of applause. Then we also have with us today my friend Mr. Siddesh Chauhan. He is an executive director at Jet Blue Lifestyle. He is a graduate from NIFT Gandhinagar and he is a diploma holder in design from University of Arts London. He has done everything when it comes to making your wardrobe. He has done stitching, he has done designing, he has worked in his factory. He has gained a lot of experience before, he has come out in front as a designer. He is part of his family business, but he also has his own design studio by his own name, Siddesh Chauhan. And he is really into the art of making clothes. So if anyone, has gone to him, has got their clothes made by him, he is always into the process of making it and making sure that you look your best. So he is also co-chair with me in Gujarat Chamber of Commerce Youth Wing, and I would like all of us to give him a warm round of applause. Today we also have with us Mr. Aryaman Thakkar. He is an executive director at Landmark Automobiles Limited. He has a bachelor's degree in business administration as well as he has a business degree in strategy. His graduate studies are from University of Warwick. He has been associated with Volkswagen. He has been associated with all other automobile manufacturers. He has gained a lot of experience on the ground before returning back to India and joining his family business. He is interested in expanding the products which they have as part of their business, and he's really interested in how to make sure that all of us get an automobile which we dream of, but we would also, is good in terms of how we use it when it comes to our environment. So I would like all of us to give him also a round of applause. And our moderator today is Sanjay ji. He has been an advertiser, a brand strategist, and a guru for anyone who wants to learn about marketing and branding. He is going to moderate our session, come out with interesting questions so that we all can get to know more about the experiences that each one of them have. So I would like all of you to welcome him as well. So I will just felicitate him first. So we'll start our session now. Off to you, Sanjay ji.
Yeah. Am I audible? Yes. Yeah. So good evening, friends. Welcome to this third edition of panel discussion which we have been having. And we have every month one such session, the panel, and this is the third one which we are excited to host, right? You know, very interestingly, Peter Drucker says that entrepreneurship is a practice rather than a science or an art. He emphasizes that entrepreneurship requires practical knowledge and skills that are developed through experience and application. Family-owned businesses have played a very crucial role in the economy of most of the countries. Contribution of family-managed businesses in corporate history is significant. According to CII, family business contributes to 60 to 70% of GDP of most developed and developing countries. Family-managed businesses, small and also large, have a significant transnational presence. And if you see, 35% of Fortune 500 companies are managed by families. Right? In case of India, this could be a little more because every small enterprise is family run. Okay. India's largest companies were once family managed business which later progressed into professionally managed companies. And still they are owned by the family, still owning the large part of their companies. Succession planning within the family plays a very key role in determining the fate of family business. However, the close-knit structure of families which fosters teamwork combined with the respect of family values and family elders has been key to success of many businesses, family businesses. Indian businesses which are family owned forms a backbone of Indian economy, and hence there is a need to extend the lifespan of family business so that the economy can contribute to derive benefit from their contributions. A family business never ending journey, as we all know and you might have seen this, is a never ending journey, one that continuously is evolving. Just when you think you have handled something, the things changes and you have to adapt it very quickly and effectively. Most of the business families face unique management challenges because of differences in the attitude and the aspiration of family members. Right? As new generation join the family business, it is of enormous challenge to keep the family business together. I think I would not dwell much on this subject because today we have got extremely delighted and extremely talented 3 young entrepreneurs who represent family business entrepreneurs. Traditionally, you know, you were saying roti, kapda or makan. We used to do that. But now there's an upliftment and necessity, say it has become upgraded lifestyle. So now we need roti ke sath natural mineral water, right? And kapde ke sath stylish kapda, right? And makan ke sath gaadi bhi chahiye luxury, right? So today we have all of it in this forum. So let's So let's unveil, explore, discover, understand, uncover and decode the secret of the journey and successes. So I jotted down some questions and I'm also open to the audience also at the end to ask questions. And as I always say, these questions should not be proprietary. कि कितना turnover है और कितना business आता है. Beyond that, you can ask anything you want to ask, right? So let us start. Let me ask, let us know about your professional journey till now. And we'll start from the lady in the forum first. And Avanti, before you start, I just wanted to know what is this water sommelier? So that for the benefit of the audience, what is it all about? Yeah, and then you can tell your journey.
So I think everyone knows of wine sommeliers and what they do when they taste and pair wines with different kinds of cuisines. But I think primarily as a water sommelier, what I do is draw attention to the value of water. Water is in everything that you're wearing, eating. It's the most used raw material in any industry on the planet, but it's invisible and we don't talk about it. And we definitely don't talk about the role of fresh water and the role it plays in food security. So I think my role as a water sommelier is to make people care more about, to think about what they drink. So hopefully they care a little bit more about water and how they use it.
Okay, great. So about your journey.
So I think I'm an anomaly here because I didn't grow up thinking that I would join my family business. It wasn't my first dream. It wasn't my first priority. I was in journalism, in advertising. I studied sociology and anthropology, and everyone's like, how did you end up in water? I think life humbles you in like a lot of ways, and I think it did in COVID for me. I came back home and I just saw my family work tremendously hard to make sure that people had access to natural mineral water. And everyone sitting here would think, pani hai to kya hai? But what we don't realize is that water also has minerals that your body needs. especially in times like COVID, when you're going through diseases, it helps recovery. And Ava is a natural mineral water brand that is bottled without any processes or without any RO, and we only have 0.5% of this kind of water on earth that we can use, 60% of which goes into agriculture. So it kind of made me realize the value of water in wellness, and that made me want to study more, which is why I became a water sommelier. And I think sustainability is something else which is really close to my heart. So my first project during COVID was launching the Ava glass bottles. This was a co-effort because my dad and my brother and we're really involved in our family business, so it's like everyone weighing in. But we launched our glass bottles, and I think that really helped elevate Ava to the premium brand that it actually was, but people maybe didn't perceive it as that. And I also look at, and also COVID was a great time for us to foray into B2C. We were traditionally a B2B heavy business, and COVID gave us the opportunity and the time to kind of expand our digital footprint. Today we service pan-India, over 1,500 PIN codes through our own warehouses. And now we have people who drink Ava all over India because they choose Ava, they like the brand, they like the water. And I look at that, and so I handle all the new products. I look at the B2C side of the business, all the digital marketing and all of that, and I just try to draw awareness towards water.
Great,
in general.
great. So people say, pandemic, Corona gave a pandemic. But I think for you, Corona gave you an opportunity to work hard, right?
Oh, yeah,
so that's the
for sure.
positive side of any calamity which you have. Yeah, Siddesh, what about you? Your life has been very exciting, right?
Everyone's life, I think, is Rume has always been exciting, if we take it that way. Firstly, when I walked in and I saw this bottle, which normally I also drink, and I feel it is a fantastic design bottle. The last bottle I really loved was Absolute Vodka, and now there is Ava. So it is really amazing that, it is a piece of art actually, more than the right way you hold it and everything. So hats off to your entire team. Now, coming to my journey, it started around 9th standard when my dad is like, vacation mein kya kar raha hai? I was like, kuch nahi. Okay, sit with the master and you have to make a jacket. Like, okay. So he told me, so the jacket I'm wearing, he asked me that you have to make this jacket by hand. I was like, okay, I'll make it. How difficult could it be? That's what I thought. It took me 1 month to complete the jacket by hand. So you have to make each buttonhole, everything by hand. So that technically would be a bespoke jacket. After that, another shirt and another jacket, but on a stitching machine. So I thought it is much more easier. It was made in 2 days. A normal karigar would take around, or a tailor, if you term it as, around a day to make a jacket. I made it in 2 days, but I was still happy that I was wearing my own jacket and my own shirt. I still cherish it, and it does not fit me anymore because I was really thin then. And so that is when the journey started. So I feel that opportunities technically are everywhere, but it is also the environment that you are put into kind of brings the best out of you. So I would be thankful to my dad for pushing, at least introducing me to something which I was unaware about. After that I decided, okay, let's go to the office, go on. The first sales I did was in, let's say, 11th standard, and it took me 6 hours. I sold 1 shirt. I was so tired and frustrated. So my parents are like, itna time kisko lagta hai? Like, but that guy was not buying. He came at around 4 o'clock. I was like, today I'll attend him. Until 9 he was with me. 10 baje last mein ek shirt leke, he's like, theek hai, achha hai. So that is when I realized the value of sales, that how important it is. And we know the struggle which diploma now, and then later we can decide कि masters करना है और किस field में करना है, कि designing में करना है, marketing में करना है, whatever, which way you want to go. So I did in design, and it was fascinating. She also studied from the same college, I feel, UL, but the universities, but still, Kings. So the advantage is that what I realized is that the minute you step out of India, there's a different world altogether, and you get a global perspective in terms of you suddenly realize that, okay, you are sitting in Ahmedabad catering to maybe 1,000 clients, tops, the best clients of Ahmedabad. And then you're like, boss, ये तो बहुत बड़ी global market है, and you need to really pull up your socks, and sky is the limit. So then that exposure helps a lot. Coming back, I focused on So right now I focus on marketing, brand building, and developing designs. So that's the a journey in short so far.
Yeah. Yeah, great, Siddesh. So what I was, narrating in the starting of the session, that entrepreneurship is a practice, not just a science or an art, which is proved here. Whatever you said, you practiced it, and when you took 6 hours to sell it, was a practice which you were doing, right? So that is what is very interesting in understanding. So in every panel discussion, honestly speaking, I learn a lot. When I go back, I say, wish I could be, hum aise hote to acha rehta, right? So I come to Aryaman. Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I think like Siddesh shared, our ages of getting exposed to the business were kind of relatively similar, though I was a little younger. So my dad started, I think, Landmark when I was at 6 years old. So in a way, I have kind of grown up with alongside the business, watching it develop as in different stages of its journey. Having been born in Mumbai, and at that time, in the early days, I think for the first many years, Gujarat was where all of our business was. So I used to look forward to these trips to Ahmedabad and Gujarat at that time with a lot of excitement. Spending most of my holidays here because Dad used to travel a lot back and forth. He would, I remember at some point, take almost 100 flights a year, spending a couple of weeks in a month in Ahmedabad. So, and so every holiday or every trip that I would make, apart from meeting friends and some family and having a good time at that age, I would also spend time at the offices in meeting people, just sitting through some discussions, some meetings. And as I grew up, me and our younger sister, we would also spend time, maybe as we kind of progressed, because that time maybe interning in a way in different teams and different departments to actually get some more exposure and to make the best use of our time. So I think that though, I think from an early age, I kind of knew that this is where I wanted to be. There was absolutely no expectation or pressure from my father or my parents to that this is what you need to do. But I guess in my mind, this is where I felt that was my calling in a way. So I think every step I finished my college in Bombay, went for my undergraduate studies to Pune, took a year and a half of a gap where I interned with a couple of companies to get exposure with some auto manufacturers. Before then, going to the UK with the clear vision that this is what I wanted to come back and do. And I think I came back, joined one of our other companies to get a different exposure than auto. Before then, making the switch to our auto business. And I think, and as Siddesh said, that what the college teaches you and what you learn in the real world is different. So I think from the outside, it was quickly a humbling experience to understand what exactly goes into making of a real business. But it's been extremely exciting and a rewarding journey so far. I started off looking at our new initiatives and our marketing functions, set up our group marketing brand, set up a digital team for Landmark, and then having since then progressed to look at a couple of our core businesses and leading a few brands that we have.
Great, great. Now my very interesting next question is, when you enter your business, beside your qualification being from various colleges, the only qualification which you have is that ye state ka ladka ya state ki ladki hai, right? And you have to get accepted in the team. okay? And there may be many people who are much older than you, or they उनके साथ आपने खेला होगा, right? गोद में बैठा के खेला होगा. So how do you make them accept it? कि you know I can add a lot of value into the company. So what is that formula which you use, and you think कि this has worked for me? Yeah, Siddesh, what about you?
So first, when I entered the business, I was an angry young man. You know, growing with the team and everything together, but अगर कुछ काम नहीं हुआ, and I'll go on the floor and like ये क्यों नहीं हुआ है? Why is भैया बराबर करो, आ ना करो, and you know you are like super angry. कि यार तू आउटलुक केम नहीं करी सकतो बराबर? It's a simple process. Then 2 years, 3 years passed, and I came to a point that I realized that communication is the only most important thing in any business, irrespective of whether you have talent, you don't have talent, you have a degree, you don't know the product, whatever. If you are a good communicator and you can communicate your simple point to the next person in simple language where he or she does not feel offended, तो वहाँ बात खत्म हो जाती है बस. That is the only thing. So from that day till today, I'm still improving on that only. And I thrive every day to ensure कि keep my cool, explain, understand the other person's point of view, because it is 100% sure they're not going to accept you as you come. मुझे लाइक हम 6 साल में इस जगह पे खड़े हैं, हमें धंधा बेचना आता है कि you will tell us how to sell, you know, वैसा. So that is, I think, a general practice. But once you work with them, so I was fortunate that I could work with each department for at least 3 to 6 months. So if it's the warehouse, I'm 6 months at the warehouse only. So day in, day out, whatever they are doing, what they are not doing, having lunch with them, everything. So that, being at the factory, you accept the sales part on the retail floor, I would have stayed the least, because I knew that later when clients call me, I'll be the most there only. So once you spend more time with them, then you start knowing their family, their, okay, how many children do you have? क्या कर रहे हैं, पढ़ रहे हैं, नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं. Take genuine interest as a friend, because if you are spending 8 hours of your day at a certain point, तो आप दोस्त से जो बात करोगे उससे ज़्यादा you are talking to your employees or your team. So better to build that trust. After 4 years they are not going to question, but as they are growing they'll say कि नहीं यार, you know, I would want to work with his team, yeah, I would want to work with him वैसे. So that is what we thrive to do every day. The initial years are definitely challenging, but hopefully now I'm all sorted.
Okay. So Avanti, what's your secret?
I think I have 3.
Okay.
The first being I came from a professional background, so when I entered my family business, I came with very high like demands, like why aren't we doing this and why aren't we doing that, and other people do this and why don't we do that. So then my dad and my brother were like, okay, then do it. And that's when I started being like, oh, okay, I kind of don't know how to do that. And that's when you start going into the nitty-gritty of things, and then you realize it's easy to say and harder to do. I think the second thing would be consistency, because what I did was digital, right? So I didn't necessarily have to be in the plant every day. I could do it from my laptop, I could do it from my computer, I could work remotely if I wanted to. And I think I have my brother to thank for that, because every single day he'd be like, no, like show up. And consistently showing up now for like every day makes me feel like I'm a part of the business, because I think once your employees see you come every single day to work and show the same amount of dedication that they put in, I think it makes a huge difference in getting that sort of like respect from them, because they know you're working hard alongside them. And I think the third thing is that, like you said, right, like your employees are working with you 8 to 10 hours of the day. So I've seen my family show up for every birthday, every death anniversary, every wedding. Like it's just treating your employees with like a lot of respect and understanding that this is your community. Especially when you work for, like, for example, I don't have a community per se in terms of like there are not many water brands like us. So we're like kind of a little, unit in ourselves. So for us, our community is all the people who work with us every single day. So I think just showing up for them when they need you also kind of establishes that sort of respect that over a period of time, because otherwise, like we were discussing before coming here, it's like you're chota baba or baby for them. And I might still be baby for them, but ave baby kaam kare che. So that is
So you
good.
change that perception, right? Yeah. Yeah. Ariman, can you please share your point of view?
Yeah, sure. I think both Siddesh, Navan, you have clearly covered the important points. I think what also works, I think, especially for the mid and the lower level management, I guess, first, of course, they will only see you as she said, a chota baba or the boss's son or daughter. But if you are on ground with them, if they feel that what you are saying is you have content, you know the business, you are actually adding value to the conversation. It's not that you are just coming there and ordering them around without much knowledge. Of course, you will get it wrong initially. You may not have that experience. But that I felt works. I think that then slowly their attitude and their they get more open towards you. And of course, getting to know them personally speeds up the process. And with the senior management, I think it's a slightly different challenge. I guess the one word I would be is perform and win them over. I think once they know that you are capable to handle the projects that you have taken on, that you are successfully being able to implement them. Of course, there will be hiccups along the way. And if you have that ability to reach out to them from time to time for guidance to where they also feel that they are needed and are important, and you perform, then I felt that that is something that works, and that is how you can actually get their respect and trust and get out of the chota baba way that they are seeing you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Yeah, great. So, it is said that in the world of business, the people who are most successful are those who are doing what they love. So when did you realize that, this is the function which I'll do? And my second question too is that, do you have a choice of having only particular one function of the company? Because you're going to be the owners after a few years. So first of all, you realize that this is the function which I love and I should do this. But usually, family business entrepreneurs usually don't have that choice. They have to be everywhere. So how do you manage that here?
So initially when I started, I was given the choice to see what I wanted to do. So that's when then I said that maybe let me do our newer initiatives or digitization and or group marketing, which were the sexy things to do. Good. In hindsight, I felt that maybe I should have done that, but a little down the road. I think if I had maybe gotten involved a little bit more in the operation side of things first to get a better grip of the thing, then my execution and my understanding and my implementation on the other peripheral aspects like a marketing or a digitization would have been better. To answer your question, I think yes. I think initially when you are younger, you can get away with doing what you like. But I think as you grow within the system and your experience and responsibilities grow, I think you need to find a way to get excitement and fun out of the other aspects of the business as well, because sooner or later that is something you will need to do, and one should be prepared for it. So that's how I try to look at it.
Great, great. So Avanti, you chose brand management, right? Yes. Now you didn't like accounting.
I'm not great at it, but I will be.
Yeah.
But I think that's the main difference between being an entrepreneur and being a professional, is that as a professional I could put in a 10-hour workday, go back home, but as an entrepreneur the buck stops at you. So there's no problem, or there's nothing that's too big or too small. Everything is your problem. And I think I have, I do feel a certain amount of delegation is of course healthy, because you can't show up everywhere all the time. But I do believe that as an entrepreneur, it's almost in your bones to be there everywhere all the time. So even if you're delegating it, you will always have an eye on it. And I think that's the best way to run a business, is because even if I do digital marketing, or even if I do sales and marketing, I think at the end of the day, because I'm sitting at the plant, I know how my water is bottled, where it comes from. All of those aspects make me a better marketer, make me a better salesperson in that sense. So I think even as we grow, I don't think a business is something that you can just sit in the confines of an office and run, especially if there's any amount of operations involved. I think it's really important to be hands-on, no matter what you're doing. And hopefully I can continue to do that.
Yeah, all the best for that. Yeah, just this you can add to it.
I think it's more like seeing a baby grow, simple as that. 2 years is different, 4 years is different, and like we'll change. Like when I started, I was more focused on design as a whole. Now I feel that finance along with design makes more sense, because eventually it is the money flowing in or out. I mean, I could make a fantastic piece. Do I want to make an art movie, or do I want to make a Dabangg movie? That is up to me. Art movie, my clients, my friends, peers, everyone will appreciate, oh wow, it is such a piece of art. And then there is a Dabangg movie, which is like, grossing amazing amount of the box office collection. So there's a thin line, but as she rightly said, the most important part is that as an entrepreneur, you would never stick to one thing. You would not want to practically, that even if you wish that I want to just do this, you will not be able to do it. Because you'll be like, अच्छा मैं यहाँ पे कुछ value addition दे सकता हूँ, यहाँ पे can I do something? So you'll keep your core focus area as one, and then it will be poking into each department is like, okay, what can we improve, what can we improve? So that's about it.
Oh, great. Ariman, I may sound like a teacher, but I need to ask you this, right? What is the validation and the greatest change you made when you joined the company?
One or two things maybe come to mind. And generally I don't like talking of my own positives too much. I think one new thing that we kind of brought, and I have some of my teammates also here, is that we decided later on that how important marketing ourselves better was. I think that was something which was at that point when I joined missing in the organization. I think we were growing in different territories with different brands, but there was no umbrella brand which we were known by. I think we were known locally, regionally, in all the cities and towns we were present in. And that's when we set up the group landmark brand, the lion that you see on my shirt, which is, and I think, and we invested heavily into that. We got some professionals on board, an agency on board. And that's, I think, helped differentiate us in the industry that we are in. And I think slowly customers have also started to recognize us. And I think that has helped us, and I'm confident that it will help us in the long run. Another one I would say is that I took over our Volkswagen business a year back. And I think with the idea of turning it around a little bit, that was a brand that we wanted to do better in. And I would say that we have been reasonably successful in doing that. And as of last month, we were able to become their largest dealers in India. So those were the two small successes in my short career so
the
far.
difference which you made after.
I feel so, yes.
Siddesh, you want to add something?
The changes?
Yeah. Visible changes which were there.
So there was the best change that our Prime Minister got was introducing QR code and Phone Pay. And that kind of opened my eyes that when one person can make, let's say, a population of, so India has a lot of different segments. So right from today, if you see the chai wala or a pan shop, wherever you go, there's just digital payments. I thought, imagine 100 crore people going on to that in a year's time. It is too much. And our employee strength in one department where we wanted to implement a certain system was around 50 odd people. So what we had to do was, once you select a fabric, particular fabric, that goes to stitching, to delivery, to trial, to embroidery, or all the processes involved. And each piece is a custom piece. So if, let's say, even if Aryavan wants to get that logo done, it will be considered a new process in that, and it was all handled by human power. Ki manpower is handling it, ki ye sahi kiya, nahi kiya. Sometimes when the, during peak seasons or Diwali, or we weren't able to track ki ye piece actually kahan pada hai. You call 5 people, so if that person is absent, let's say I'm handling the, I'm the shirt in charge there, and if I'm absent, I would not come to know ki, it will take at least 10-15 minutes to कि हाँ ठीक है मैं ढूंढ के बताता हूँ कि अभी कटिंग में है कि स्टिचिंग में है कि एम्ब्रॉयडरी में क्या है. So we started with QR code. In QR code, every person just has to keep scanning each process, and it made our life more easier. Simple as that.
I have water. Yeah. How is there?
For me, I think I've always been a dreamer coming from an advertising background. It's always like you dream the best possible design, you dream the best possible shape, you want to make it. Coming into the business side of it was grounding because there, like dhando, paisa, you start counting things backward. But I think the biggest change that I've brought to Ava is, it was already a great brand, but there was no information about it out there. So I think what I've given Ava is like built out a brand language, a brand identity. There's now a visual that you associate with Ava. There's an ethos that you associate with Ava. There's a communication and a way of speaking that you associate with Ava. So I think that is integral in being perceived as a brand nationally versus just a homegrown brand. So I think that on my end was like the largest contribution that I made.
Now, you know, this question which comes to you is a very emotional question which I'll ask, since your parents are also here, which you might have never spoken to them. So what is that greatest wisdom you got from your earlier generation?
I think it's my dad's standard line, and he's like, you can do anything with money, but what you can do without it is what counts eventually at the end of the day. And I think I kind of swear by that now.
Oh, great. A round of applause for this. Right. Veram bhai, compliments to you. Yeah. What about you, Aryaman? What's the greatest wisdom you received from your...
Yeah, I think quite a bit, but two things come to mind. One was he keeps on saying that play as if everything is already rigged in your favor. So be fearless and go for it. And the second is that if you are ever in doubt, say yes.
So, yeah. Siddesh, what about you?
The thing that I've learned always when me and Dad discuss, because sometimes he's more punctual than I am, is that there is no substitute to hard work. No matter what scale you are, what level you are, no matter how much talent you have, without hard work, it all could go in train in maybe a year, 2 years, it's just about time.
Okay.
But hard work could always pay off.
Great. So a lot to learn from the first generation, yeah. Okay, sometimes Siddesh, ऐसा भी होता होगा ना कि you want to start a new trend in the organization and your earlier generation say कि ये नहीं होता, मुझे पता है सब कुछ, don't do this. So how do you address such conflicts? Because you have to go and at the end, in the evening on the dining table and face the same person. So how do you resolve that?
Oh, our job is to do what we are best at. So for example, if someone who has built a company, a person who has put in hard sweat, his time, everything to build that company maybe would not get you at the first go. Oh, it is unsaid. 100% the question will be क्या हमना ना था थोड़ा टाइम पची था it might create some consequences etc etc. So in such a case you have to, in the practice that we follow, all four of us technically, is that we write down everything. We have a common group where it's just the four of us. We put down our thoughts that this is what we feel should be done. We review those thoughts in a week's time. And कई बार क्या होता है, the first thought when something is so radical, you might not accept it. It is human nature. So we again rethink on those thoughts till everyone does not digest it.
Okay.
It might be slow, it might be wrong, but I cannot know, I mean, I'll not be 100% sure कि what I'm saying is going to work only. ऐसा कोई नहीं है दुनिया में जो बोलेगा कि what I have said or what my system is 100% foolproof. Till you don't do it, you're not going to do it. I mean, know it. So we all have that ethos कि करके देखो, अगर हो रहा है तो well and good. Do a pilot, do a trial run. Fortunately, it is just a question of time. कई बार what you are saying might not be effective in that 1 week, but maybe what you have read, what you have studied, what you have understood, if that is not expressed correctly, then let's say if I'm telling that कि implement करना चाहिए, बोलेंगे क्यों? I'm like नहीं करना चाहिए. So till I don't have any solid reasoning, he would not accept. But if I show him that देखो ये companies ये कर रही है, this is where the world is going, this is where the trend is, they might know the context where he is coming from, कि वो क्या करने की चाह रहा है. Because they have not studied what you have. They are in a different, they have grown in a different era, they have grown in a different environment than you have. So boils down to only one point, patience and communication.
And also a good homework before you propose.
Homework, oh, without research you'll not even execute that pilot. No?
Yeah, that's the reason. Yeah. Avanti, so how you handle it?
I
happens?
say
It
that,
happens many times?
I mean, I think I argue every day, and I think that's a part of my MBA.
Okay.
But I think eventually it boils down to it's three members of a family who live and work together, and I think arguments are inevitable, but it all boils down to we all eventually want to do what's best for the brand. So that is the consensus that we can, take for granted at all points in time. I think what's great is that between the three of us, we've got even though Shira and I are of a similar generation, but it's still age gaps, I think we've got three very different perspectives. And maybe in the moment you can't see the value of that perspective, but like you said, over a period of time, you do. So I think I just take it in my stride. For me, working in a family business comes with the arguing part of it, and I'm lucky that I'm very free to voice my opinions, and I'm quite headstrong in those as well. And I've also learned now along the ways that sometimes it's also okay, stop talking, just do it. So if it's your company and you have the agency, sometimes you just have to walk the talk rather than just talk.
Okay, great. Ariman, yeah, sorry.
One thing I'd like to add to what she said was, when you are staying day in, day out together, all three of them kind of know कि मैं कैसे इसको बोलूँगी या बोलूँगा या how to, तो ये might be convinced. It is unsaid कि वो you have to watch at the timing, आज मुझ सही है नहीं है.
That is what you said, that communication is the crux of everything. Yeah.
It happens. After a point in a family, it happens subconsciously. You don't have to effort नहीं रखना पड़ता उसके लिए.
Ariman, you face something like that?
On and off, I think, not too frequently so far. I think they've covered the points. The thing is that whenever if I wanted to try something new, I do kind of voice it with my father, some of the other seniors, because it helps to sometimes get their point of view from a perspective that maybe there are from their wisdom or experience, to see if there is anything that I have missed out in considering in the proposal. But in spite of that, what I found works is to, as Siddesh said, do it as a proof of concept. And if successful, then you have the data to back up what you want to do, and then scale it up for the entire organization.
Great, great. So before I come to the audience, I got two more questions to go. And Aditya, you can also have some questions with you if you are stored. Now, it's said that it doesn't matter how many times you failed. You only have to be right once. Failures is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. So what are your biggest failures in this journey of your entrepreneurship? You might have faced some encounters, some failures. So can you be open to say that, okay, these were my failures?
Two things come to mind. One was early on in our journey, there was this new software that we wanted to develop. Data was was the growing trend, and we wanted to leverage it. I got very excited looking at one product and software, and I thought that this is what will be great and maybe change the game for us. And I pushed for it, and we tried to kind of see how we can leverage that tool at our end. But the mistake I made was that not having thought through the preparedness that we had in our back end, or the readiness of the teams to actually develop or implement something like this. So a lot of effort, time went in it, but at the end of the day, we were unsuccessful at that project. So it was a valuable lesson, I think. It taught me to be a little more level-headed and measured in my excitement to try new things, and maybe think through things a little more in detail and what goes into it. The second was more than a failure, I would say it was a missed opportunity. I think there was a possibility to bring in one more brand in our portfolio a couple of years back. And that time, my father was not very keen for it, but he left the decision to me, saying that if you think so, then go for it. I chose not to, and thought that maybe let's kind of back his wisdom and not do it. In hindsight, that was the wrong decision, and that was a good learning that I should at points trust my gut feel and data as well. So I think that was the main learning out of that failure.
Great, yeah. Avanti?
I don't have a particular instance in terms of failure per se, but I would say that growing up, I imagined to be in a very different place at 30 in terms of my profession and my career. This wasn't something that I would have imagined myself doing 10 years back. So I think the biggest learning there is that you will fail. I mean, at every point there will be disappointments. You face that even in a professional setting, even in an entrepreneurial setting. But in an entrepreneurial setting, I feel you have agency to act on that. You can be agile, there's always something that you can do to salvage a situation. It's never entirely hopeless. So for me, I feel like this entire trajectory of moving from a professional environment to an entrepreneurial environment taught me how to live in hope. Because as an entrepreneur, I wake up every day thinking of the most possible things, whereas maybe in a professional environment, if I had a setback, my thought process was very like, how am I going to deal with this? Whereas now I'm just like, I am going to deal with it, and this is how I'm going to do it, you know?
Great, yeah. Siddesh, any failures which you'd like to express?
In my line of work, it's more ordering more fabric than required, not getting sold. So I'm looking at inventory, because retail mein, I think the most important part over years is only inventory. If you manage your inventory well, everything else can be managed well. Being too optimistic, I was like, "Nee, this will sell," and it didn't. So I have a rack full of fabrics which I have ordered, which have not been sold yet. So that's so far the biggest failure.
Something to add to that. So I used to be a copywriter. So as a copywriter, I look at every word, right, every punctuation. So I started doing labels for Ava. And I was like, I'm a copywriter, I copy edit. So obviously my checking is on point. Next thing I know, there's a lot of 50,000 labels with a spelling mistake. And there I am, stuck with 50. So I think this is very much a part of it. And then now you kind of learn how to deal with that.
Yeah, you take me to my old days in advertising where we used to make such mistakes and, clients used to not pay us. Yeah. Good.
Here it's not a matter of not paying, here you've lost money
Yeah.
when you're stuck with labels.
Yeah, great, great. So, in business, there is no failure. Either you win or you learn. That's what you do, right? Yeah, please.
So, when you are in family business and when you are entering, yeah, we heard that communication is the key. It's important to earn trust of everyone. But when do you decide to be assertive in the business? Because, you have this feeling in you that, people are going to judge you because you are coming from the family. But at the same time, you have to take charge of things inside the business, right? So when do you decide and how do you decide to be assertive? It's open to all three of you.
In my case, let's say if dad has told me I'm not going to retire. Okay. So you handle this part, let me handle this part. So the minute we entered the business, we are in charge. So every step is being watched by people around you, how you are talking, walking. They might not tell you maybe if you have scolded someone in your office, next day someone at the factory knows ki acha kal isko daat padi thi. As simple as that. So to take the baton from someone who's already run the company, in my case it's going to be very difficult. It might be that till 100 he's still running a different business, working in his own style, in a different way, maybe in a different business model. So the idea is to just keep growing a different business model, which is functioning in a way it does not hinder the actual model.
I think I started being more assertive when I started sharing the passion. Because I didn't enter my family business as a rite of passage. I think it was more about, I started realizing, I used to think my dad was crazy to care so much about water, and then I started caring a lot about it as well. And then when I started caring about it, and then I knew the perspective that I brought in was of a completely different generation and a completely different time, a time of technology which did not exist years back. So I think that, and also because I had experience working outside, I was like, if other people can hear me out and think I have merit, I think I do have merit. So that was my point.
Yeah, so I think as they said, coming from the promoter background in a family business, I think you are going to be judged right or wrong in every day. So you do need to develop a slightly thicker skin. Do not let it get to you. I think the time also you need to start being assertive is that if you feel that you or your presence or what you are contributing is at risk for being taken for granted. I think that's, I think before that is when I feel you should start pushing your weight, because then if you do start being taken for granted, then it's a disservice to yourself and the organization.
Great. Yeah, please.
So, this question is again to all three of you. Yeah, I mean, having responsibility towards your family and hence family business is one thing. But why do you want to be in your family business? This is something which we all would like to know.
It's an imperative to be in family business, right? Yeah.
So I think I want to be in my family business because I think I have more agency to make a difference in what I do. And I think by that I mean you are responsible for all your employees, their families, all of that. Like I didn't know what owning a business meant. It's not just you and your family, these extended families. Like the other day, someone was getting interviewed who who was at a very junior position, and his dad had a family business, so they asked him as to why do you want to work with us if your dad has a family business, and he's like, I want a change of pace, I want to introduce a new environment for myself and also have a better income. And to be able to give somebody that opportunity is an immense privilege, and I take that with like a lot of responsibility. So I think that for me is something that drives me, apart from sharing the passion for what my family does, to be in a family business.
Like roti, kapda और मकान. कपड़े में है ही तो let us dress up the world, let us make it a better place. I mean, there's never going to be a time that everyone's of कोई भी, we're not going to go around naked. So, and we as a company we believe what you wear matters. So when you every day, so that's kind of our tagline. So that is something which is engraved in our ethos. That are we getting an opportunity to make someone feel better by making them wear clothes? I personally feel that, I mean, there are good days and bad days, everyone has those days. The minute you change your outfit, I mean, you can try doing it. Chances are your mood might switch, or it might change. There's a reason why you are wearing a particular color today and not any other color from your entire wardrobe. It is a very subconscious decision that why you are wearing green or why you are wearing purple. But it was still fed into you in some way in your mind that you are wearing it. So that is a huge responsibility that we owe to the society, that if you are wearing something, wear it, wear the best of that all of us think. That is one responsibility. And second, like she said, there are a lot of families that we are empowering. So we feel, I mean, we have to live 60 years, bro. Why? We have a great platform to execute. You start, tomorrow I think I might start up a small company of a startup or build something great. But every opportunity is possible being with the family than being away from the family. So why not take that leverage if you are privileged and execute it?
So at Landmark, out of design, we don't have any mission or vision statement. I think our chairman, Dad, he always said that I find that to be too limiting. So there is a kind of an unofficial motto that we live by, which says that there is no finish line. And that you will see in many of our offices and his office hanging. So why the family business? I personally feel that where India is, where the company is, we are just now entering an extremely exciting phase of our growth. What I'm driven by is to create a business which will outlive the lifetimes of everyone in this room and the generation to follow, and staying relevant while doing so. So that is something where I feel that I want to be a part of, and I don't feel there is any finish line right now.
Yeah, great. There is so much of treasure that you keep decoding it and it's not enough, right? But because of time constraint, I'll sum it up with my last question. Is that as a mantra, what does it take to be succeeding in a family business, according to you?
Consistency.
Okay. So whatever you do, there has to be consistency.
Yeah, and just showing up every single day. Like,
Okay.
no 2 days are going to be the same, but I just think consistently showing up, doing the work,
Okay.
and I don't think there's any substitute to like hard work paired with consistency.
Okay, great. Sudesh, your lessons, your mantras or your tips to people.
Only two, patience and communication.
Yeah.
So patience was in as well. But yeah, patience, not expecting everything to happen on day one and immediately. I think that's the main one for me.
Great. So there are a lot of lessons which a lot of people who are the second generation entrepreneurs can learn out of it, right? So we come to audience and we'll take few questions from audience. Audience, any questions? Yeah, please. You want to add something? Yeah.
Sir, I'll like to add one thing. What most people So as we go in college is different, we meet people and we feel that sometimes people perceive family business owners and as they are, तेरे को क्या टेंशन है, तेरे पास तो सब कुछ है ना. But the struggle is same everywhere. I mean, it is not the person, let's say if I'm an employee at some place, so my struggle is at the end क्या करेंगे, निकाल देंगे. It is not my company, I'm not liable to that company. So I might not even perform 100% if I'm an employee at some place. But in my business, if I'm not performing, it is directly affecting my lifestyle. So the struggle is even harder than working under someone or not working
Yeah,
under someone.
absolutely, absolutely. See, in the corporate world, if I don't like, I leave and quit and join somewhere. But in a family business, you can't do that because you have to face the same boss in the evening. So very, very difficult.
No, that's why when I was introducing, I said that everyone is an entrepreneur. Obviously, we use the term second generation to distinguish. But then, as Siddesh just said, the challenges are, of a very different level because when maybe our parents started,
But
there was no one to compare with. But as soon as, we are born, we are, going to get compared with our family
and
members.
that becomes more difficult if the dad is Amitabh Bachchan. Yeah. Yeah, you want to ask something? Yeah.
What is the future plan, innovation, regulation, and what kind of competition you are facing? And one particular question for the Siddesh is that still I am not seeing JetBlue as a global brand. And just what I know I am telling you. JetBlue still there are so many world global brands that JetBlue I am not seeing. Any plan for that?
To start off with the company journey, there were two people, two promoters handling the business. Started with a tailoring shop, then to a multi-brand outlet, and now to around 30 stores of JetBlue and around total 70 stores, including Green Fiber, which is a sub-brand. Right now the world is coming to India, so there are only two plans, possible plans, maybe one in Dubai or in New Jersey, being it global. And from a multi-brand format, we are now focusing to a exclusive brand format. Right now, if you walk into a JetBlue store, you might get a Calvin Klein, Arrow, and a lot of different brand shirts and our shirts also. Fortunately, what we have been able to develop over years, a very strong tailoring is definitely a strength, but that's a different clientele for that. When it is ready to wear, companies like, let's say, Levi's, for example. So when you think of Levi's, you think of denims. So that way, JetBlue is going into that exclusive brand format where we are just selling our products. So the new stores that are coming up, franchisee and own, are more on that format. Our test run store is in Palladium right now, Ahmedabad. Just as a pilot project, that how is it succeeding, is it not succeeding, what products people are accepting. So that is one thing. Second, this year we are opening around 8 to 10 new stores. Recently one was opened in Jaipur and one will be opened in Akola. Pune, we are opening one. For the next 20 years, we feel that, not we, the entire world, there is nothing fastest, the fastest growing country rather is India. So more than global, advisable is opening stores in India. Second, we are having a lot of clientele online. Obviously there is tough competition from Myntra, Amazon, Reliance, Jio, all platforms were selling apparel. But for that small reason, we cannot exclude the fact that we have a strong product and people are accepting the product. So we will fight till we can with all these giants that are in the industry. Hopefully partner with some if they want to. So the books, everything is on the books right now. कि ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है. But the main target is that focusing on India, and online there is more focus on global audience. So we are receiving a lot of orders online for especially the ethnic wear category from online, because shorts and trousers in US or UK they'll buy it in a cheaper rate and discount, so they'll not buy from us. But hopefully next time, 5 years down the line maybe, if we are sitting together and we are discussing, then we can say that you might feel that, okay, JetBlue is now truly a national brand.
Good. Sunil bhai, yeah, you want to ask something?
Actually, I have a question for each of the panelists.
Okay.
First up, query, JetBlue. I'm informed, I don't know whether the information is right or not, that the most popular individual in the world, Prime Minister of India, is JetBlue client. Am I right or not?
So I think Wall Street Journal, a lot of other news publications have covered the same, and someone from our family deals with them personally. So it is he is a client.
Thanks. Secondly, what could be the share of, I don't know, I need to disclose, online sale versus the physical in your line?
Right now, online is hardly 5%. Our online is hardly 5% of the entire group.
So huge scope.
So that's why. But again, with the youth scope, it is the challenge here is that if Reliance is saying I'm betting 100 crores on developing this portal and penetrating into everyone's phone, either I have to raise money from somewhere or get some money of 100 crore to penetrate into your phones or your mind to get you that leverage. So the scope is huge, but the competition is also tough. So let's see where it goes.
So it's also about having a omni-channel distribution strategy, right? So you don't know, if someone is discovering you online and they are coming to your store and buying from there. So
Like you rightly said, Aditya, that happens a lot. We have people जो online product देख के ready आता है, they come to the store, बोले ये product try करा दो या I want to try, especially in wedding wear. बाकी denims and shirts तो वो घर पे मंगाते हैं, पसंद नहीं है तो return भी कर लेते हैं. But wedding wear में वो they come, the lead time has reduced to at least 15%. 15 minutes. वो 15 minutes में वो बंदा sale close कर सकता है. इतना fast है कि वो देखेगा online, he'll see, come to our store, ये product दो, हम उसको try करेंगे, card swipe किया, thank you.
Now a question to Ava lady. We have heard recently of sparkling water. Now what is the difference between mineral water and sparkling water, and how come the cost is very huge? I am told 20 rupees per bottle is a mineral water, but sparkling water costs more than 200 rupees.
So I think so firstly, we are a natural mineral water brand, so that will be higher price compared to a packaged water brand like a Bisleri. So Bisleri and Aquafina and Kinley packaged water sell at 20. Ava being a natural mineral water brand, because we bottle from a singular source and we ship it across the country. So whether you're drinking Ava in Kolkata or you're drinking it in Kanyakumari, it's come from one place. So because of the logistics part of it, our water is anyway priced higher. Now, good question about sparkling water is everyone here knows soda. We've grown up, understanding soda, but the main difference there is soda is RO water. So you do RO and then you carbonate the water, that makes it soda, which gives soda a very bitter taste. So if you drink soda, it's not necessarily hydrating you because RO removes all the minerals from the water, and it also wastes a lot of water. Every time you do RO, to make 1 liter of water, you're wasting 3 liters of water. Whereas with sparkling water is made from natural mineral water. So in Europe, you have springs where sparkling water comes from the ground because of a geological phenomena. The water comes out carbonated, but sparkling water is also made when you carbonate natural mineral water. And this water is microbiologically so secure and contamination free that it requires no processes like RO or any type of process that would alter its original microbiological content. So because of that, natural mineral water sources are really, really hard to come by. To give you context, there are 6,000 packaged water brands across the country, but there are only 20 licenses of natural mineral water. Ava was the first to get its natural mineral water license below the Himalayas within all of India. So because of that, sparkling water, and because of the added carbonation aspect of it, a little difference in the process of the packaging and all of that of it. That is what it's like 20 rupees more expensive compared to natural mineral water.
So would you dare to ask such question again?
Yeah, pardon?
Would you ever dare to ask such a question again? So technically sound. Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
to Landmark, any emerging opportunities you have found? For example, caravan business is very popular in US and Europe. It's picking up in India. So have you looked at it?
So, for us, I think Landmark, the area of focus is and will continue to be for some time the premium and luxury car market. I think India finally has become premiumizing. I think everything from clothes to premium water to watches to cars. I think premiumization is the trend and will continue to be that way. I think the luxury car penetration in India as a percentage of overall car sales is also very low compared to what maybe the West has or other developing economies have. So we are focused to continue to grow our presence in this market. We will expand with other manufacturers and in other geographies.
Yeah. Last question to be taken. Yeah, please. Yeah.
My family is into HDP own fabric manufacturing business. So they are suggesting me that I should start something on my own. So what will you suggest? Whether I should join my business and expand it or
How many family members?
my father only?
And do you see कि year on year the turnover is increasing or decreasing? Then what is the harm in joining?
But even if I don't go, it is going to progress. So
That is still a bet, no? मतलब You don't know. It is still playing in the blind. Maybe your father is looking at national. With India's scale growing globally, you could go international with that. So I think it is always a safe bet and a wise bet.
Yeah. Do you want to ask something? Right, please. Lady on the floor. Yeah, please.
So, first off, Siddesh, your comment about what is being fed to you is what you eventually wear. It's all subconscious and all of that reminded me of Meryl Streep from A Devil Wears Prada. Very similar thought process. Now, the question to all of you is, when you joined your organization, did the loyalties of the internal stakeholders as well as the vendors, was there a shift, was there a change, how did you handle that?
So for me, I think as shared, it takes some time for the acceptance to come in. But I guess I think more than that, you will need to build your own loyalties and your core team and the team around you who is then going to be with you for the remainder of your career, or that's the hope. So I felt that once you build your team, I think that's when you kind of get the loyalties around you. The rest of the senior team was of course aligned with my father. So there was no change as I felt, but as I progressed within the company, they became more accepting of me.
Yeah. You want to ask something?
You all are carrying out your family legacy in form of business forward. So ever you felt in back of your mind that my decisions or intentions may negatively impact the legacy for carrying forward? How you overcome that?
I think I like to take that one because I used to be a typical millennial, and I used to always be like, we bottle water, and how can we bottle water, because that's the usual public perception surrounding it. And I think when I entered my family business, and then when I actually understood what water is and how water is not just water, and all water is not the same, and the role it plays in health and hydration, and how rare it is to find a resource that does not need the kind of processes that we almost are used to. Like, we just think we need RO, like all the time. Like, even if our municipality water is perfectly fit to drink, we'll still put RO, but we don't realize the impact that has. So for me, when I entered my family business, I entered with a lot of negative, like, I was just like, oh my God, plastic, like we're using plastic bottles. But that was the time, that was my biggest learning, because then I actually decided to study and understand what plastics are, understand what waste management is, and I don't think you can ever talk about sustainability without looking at waste management. And then I realized that the plastic that we use is 100% recyclable, and today we've recycled more than 75 million bottles, and that's over and above our EPR target. So I think it's sometimes good to be critical, because then when there is merit in the work that you do, it's kind of really grounding and humbling when you learn that, you know, on the ground, because practical processes, like, is very different from just sitting on a chair and being an armchair activist in that sense.
Brilliant. So, before we come to Aditya, thank you very much for being here, and I wish not only this generation to be successful, but the further generation also to be successful, right? So Aditya, yeah. Aditya, all yours.
Thank you all for your time. You patiently listen to all of us.
Thank you so much everyone for attending today's event. I request everyone, to those who have not filled up the feedback form, please do it. The QR code is displayed over here. Thank you.
So it was an amazing session. So I would request all of you to give a warm round of applause to our guests as well as Sanjay ji, because this event was conducted in such a way that, you know, you are going through 3 different stories in a single hour, right? So it's not an easy thing to do. And I think we all, you know, learned a lot from the young entrepreneurs that we have today. And I would like to thank all of you to, you know, where you took out time out of your schedule to be over here to share your stories. And I hope we all will meet again, you know, in some time where we'll just talk about, you know, your business and not as, you know, a second generation entrepreneur, because that is what all of you, you know, are wishing for in your minds, right? That is the ambition that all of you have. So thank you so much, everybody, all our guests as well, and have a great evening.
And also have a great cricketing tomorrow, right? Thank you everyone. Thank you very much, yeah. Thank you, Hatalan.